So our next speaker is Dr. Elaine Humphrey, one of our wonderful board members and lab manager at UVic Advanced Microscopy Lab, who will take us on a microscopic journey in her latest session, Micro Explorations.
Of course, IMERSS AGM is the Institute of Multidisciplinary Ecological Research of Asailashee and a great micrographs. I should have put this in there. So the goals of my talks are always, no one is to go to sleep, and I want at least one wow from every member of the audience. Fortunately, with electron microscopy, that's not too difficult sometimes. One of our projects has been following on from Emily's talk, looking at the wee beasties that live on the eelgrass. And in IMERSS, we've got Mark Webber and Arian on Galliano. At UBC, we've got Siobhan in the Laura Palfrey lab. And here at UVic, we've got me, and I have two volunteers, Melanie Quenneville and Ron Reed. And they heard one of the talks that Mark and Siobhan and I did, and they're both retired. And Melanie's retired from iOS. And she said, oh, I was bored. I retired, but then I got bored. So can I volunteer? And she's been great because she knows a lot about the taxonomy of diatoms. Ron Reed was a doctor who also decided that he'd like to learn electron microscopy. And they've been coming in once a week for the last few months, taking pictures of stuff for us. This kind of picture. So when you look at the eelgrass, you can see all these are diatoms. Now, all these look very much similar. They're like cocoa beans and they're coconeus, but that's not the usual thing that we find. What we find is this, quite a mess of diatoms. There are so many species. We're up to about 46 species now, and they're all kind of different. So with the school kids, because I do projects with school kids and they come in via Zoom and we use the Tabletop SEM, we're looking at a piece of eelgrass that I picked up floating in the sea and dried down. And we're with the kids, we don't look at these as species. We look at these at what do they remind you of? And there are, gosh, 1, 2, 3, there's so many species in here. All I can say is I am glad that I don't have to count this. So here you can see we have the French fries and the pillow and the guitar. Well, I'm not sure about that one. And then this is part of this particular program with the tabletop. So Hitachi gave me this tabletop scanning electron microscope for outreach programs in schools and community groups. So if you have a school child and you can talk to the teacher, ask them to get in touch with me. My email is easy, ech@uvic.ca. But we decided that part of the IMERSS program, once a month, we would have a session, an evening session. And we've already had the first one on the eelgrass when we looked at eelgrass and we saw the diatoms. And this is Coconeus scutellum, but this one isn't, I don't think. And then there's this little one down here, which we've called the biscotti. So we get round ones, like frisbees. We get Toblerones, like triangles. We get peanuts or guitars. And there's a different kind of cocoa bean. The October version, we've decided, is going to be slime molds and plant bits. And fortunately, Pam is an expert on slime molds. So she sent me some slime molds. Here's one. And I noticed these very, very shiny bits. I mean, they were shiny, like little jewels.
This is why I like slime molds.
And they're all different. And so when I put it under the electron microscope, that very shiny bit is not shiny. And that takes us into why electron microscopes use electrons, and there's no color in electrons unless you color them in afterwards. But when you look at the spores, they're very heavily sculptured. And every species has a different shape. So this one is hemitrichia, and it's totally different. So we're going to explore some of that. But this is a pansy petal. So in October, we're going to look at plant parts as well. Who knew that the petal on pansies was heavily sculptured like this? And there's little pollen grains down here, which we could zoom in on. It's a live thing. So there we go. And that's all I am going to say for now. I was told to keep it short. We could go on and on and on with lots and lots of electron micrographs, but I'm keeping it short. And hopefully we'll see you in October.